week I talked about this wonderful camera, and this is a shorter video this week, and I'm really concentrating on the second film because when I took the first film, it was fine and I was really enjoying using the camera, which I explained last week, this wonderful Zeiss Ikonta from about 1948. I'm sure of that date because of the lens. But when I actually took the film just after, before I did this video, I was really a bit disappointed, and I was disappointed in the developing of the film, and I don't think I was very confident with the camera. So the following week I took the camera out again. It was a really bright day, and when I came to develop the film, I was really careful that I got the temperature right, got the dilution right, and needless to say, the film was far better. I thought, let's talk about the film. So I'm back in Corfe Castle, and today it was a Friday afternoon and I finished work at lunchtime, which is lovely, so I was able to go to Corfe Castle, and this lens is really sharp, as you can see. It is a smaller format than the 6x6, but it's as crisp as anything, and you can almost see the stonework on the castle here. This is former pound 100, and I'm on about f11. Now, when you look into the distance, I think you can see a question whether this lens is coated. I think it probably is, but it's a relatively early coating if the camera is as we think, 1948. Back to the sharpness of the brickwork. Well, not brick, this is stone. Corfe Castle is a majestic ruin that was destroyed by Oliver Cromwell in about 1646, thereabouts, and the village is quite delightful. This is at the top of the castle, and I framed it between ancient doorway, and you can see these wonderful Gothic type windows that would have been there, and this is, as I said, at the top. The camera is performing really well. It's a nice easy camera to use. The rangefinder is really bright. I was focusing on the windows here. I don't think there's any issue with the focusing. The camera, as I said, this film came out far better than the first film. The first film, it was my fault really. It was very cold and I got the temperature slightly wrong. When you are developing black and white, you do need to be really quite careful of the temperature. Now, I quite like the fact that when we are going slightly into the sun, we sort of get a slight haze. Again, I think it's the sort of age of the lens, but it's a characteristic of the lens. Now, this is a foam box in the village, of course, of Corfe. Again, I was really pleased with the range of tones here. We've got good blacks, we've got good whites. This is a very usable camera. It's, as I said, there is maybe a bit of light getting in. This is a church at a place called Steeple, which is a fascinating little church, very small church. Part of the was where the Lawrence family used to go, and the Lawrence family had a great grandson who was called George Washington, but that's another story. Here's the graveyard at Steeple. It's a super little church, very quiet, very atmospheric, and it's got a rather interesting barrel organ. But I didn't go into the church on this day. I was purely testing this camera, as I said. Again, maybe a tiny bit of light getting in. I suspect that we're getting towards the end of the film, so I suspect it could just be the end of the film, because you sometimes get a little bit of light leak if you aren't careful at the end of a film. So, really pleased I did another roll on this camera. As you can see, this sign is as sharp as anything. The camera has proved itself to be a really good user camera, and I look forward to using it again. Well worth doing a second film. I hope you've enjoyed it. Bye for now.